Hello and welcome to this first tutorial in making our platforming game. So first thing you need to do is log on to Scratch and find it. So open up your browser, pop Scratch into your search bar, and the first hit you'll get back is this one, scratch.mit.edu. That's the one we want to click on. You arrive on their landing page and we want to create our own game, so we click onto Create. It will set up a blank empty project. Now by default you come with the cat character, but that's a bit boring, so we don't want the cat. So you can click on this little bin symbol to get rid of our default character, and there's a little sort of cat symbol down here where it allows you to choose a sprite. Now we're going to upload our own, so we're going to click on the top one. Now what you'll see here is I've pre-downloaded lots of different things. So if you go onto Google and type in sprite sheet, you will find lots of different sprite sheets like this one here. And the advantage of having these is it gives you all of the potential movements, which really helps us in building in animations for our characters to make the game look a lot more professional. So find a sprite sheet of your own liking, save it in a folder. It's a good idea to keep all of your resources together, so I've just created a folder called Scratch where I've got all of my main things in. So we're going to open up the sprite sheet. Now at the moment it's obviously not what we want because we've got lots of different movements all in one, so we need to cut these out. You can do this a couple of different ways. If you've got image editing software, it can be a lot quicker because you've got a plain background. You can select quite quickly and cut things out very accurately. But if you don't, not to worry. If we click on the Costumes tab here, we've got various things that help us edit it. So a quick way of doing this is if we, for example, select all of this first, taking care not to cut off anything on your original sprite. Let's redraw that, there we go. And this will select all this right hand. We can then just click on delete. We can then do the same again for the bottom part, and again click on delete. And in just a couple of clicks you've got most of your character here. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is get rid of the outside of the character. So now I've clicked onto the rubber tool, and if you choose this icon it will go to a empty background. So if we zoom right in, it just helps us find the character more nicely. There we go. We can now start deleting away carefully the character like so. And after a while you'll end up with a nicely cut out character. Now, important thing to notice, you've got the brush tool up here, so we can choose a much smaller brush, which allows us to then go into more detail and cut around this. So basically we do this for each of the characters. I'm only going to do this roughly because I'm sure you don't want to spend the whole video watching me cut out a character. You get the idea. So once we've done that, we're ready for our next costume. So let's just zoom back out. One other thing to notice is that at the moment he's kind of here in the top left hand corner. If you use this selection tool again, you actually want to make sure your character is in the center, because that will help out when you're doing your animations to make sure everything is in the correct place. Let's just get rid of that line there. There we go, get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of that a little bit. Okay, so that is our first character. He's too big at the moment, so we can resize him very easily again using this tool here. You just left click and hold and drag until you get a more reasonable size for your character, and again just make sure he's centered over that middle part. So next what we want is to have a new costume. So we can basically create a new costume for him, again just by having that sprite sheet again. So we come down here, and this time rather than choose a sprite we're choosing a costume. So again we click on upload costume and we upload the same sprite sheet we had before, but this time we're going to cut this one out. So exactly the same procedure as before. We cut out that part, delete, cut out all of this, delete, cut out all of this bit, delete, and then we go around and clean it up using the eraser tool with the transparency. And again, don't forget to center your character and resize him so he is a very similar size to the other one. And now if you look at the screen, you'll see, there we go, he's switching to running. You can clearly see he's a bit big at the moment, so we can make him a bit smaller until they look like they're a similar size. There we go. So we got the beginning of our animation. Excellent. So once we've done that, we can start to get the next costume in, the next costume, and basically what you want is to have these top four. So that means he's going from a standstill to sort of a stop and to a run again. So these four will give us our basic animations. You don't actually need these because I can show you a clever trick to be able just to flip the sprite depending on which direction you're going to go in. So that's how we do that. So once you've finished cutting out each of the four sprites from the sprite sheet, you should end up with something that looks very similar to what I've got here. So you've got your start position, your run position, your sort of mid-run position, and then back to running again. And that will put you in the correct position to start off writing the code to move the sprite around and animate him in our next tutorial. Well, thank you for listening today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.